recently read Angeles Arrien's essay, Spirit in Action, in Service of Earth and Humanity. In it, she talks about this idea that we have this opportunity before us to shift and shape our reality in service not only to our spiritual lives, but also to save our biosphere. Specifically, she talked about a braided way, a threefold approach that recognizes that before us, with any problem, are always three options, three creative methods to solve that issue. If you've ever studied Druidry, this might sound a little familiar. But what interested me about this essay wasn't just the call to shape-shift our inner and outer lives in service of Earth and humanity, but how to apply these concepts of a braided way into our micro-reality, our lived day-to-day personal experiences. When applying this to our own worlds, something occurs that really struck me, and that is the permission to be foolish. Each of us are unique beings. Much like trees in the forest, we all may be of the same species, but you and I have different beliefs, backgrounds, perceptions, talents, skills, a unique combination, a unique recipe that makes us individuals. In other words, I'm special because you are special, and you are special because your neighbor is special. But within these unique blueprints that make up our individual souls is something extra juicy that we can offer to the world, and that is our own original medicine. Some of us are analytical thinkers, some of us are brave or loyal, others are inventive or artistic, and as this global health crisis rages on for another year, I've been dealing with a lot of grief about who we are as people. Honestly, I haven't grieved as much for the people that we've lost to this disease as I thought I would. It's something else that I find myself aching over, and that is the response, or lack thereof, to the death that we've seen. I suppose in my perfect world, I would have expected everything to come to a grinding halt, for us all to feel the sense of emergency that is present and come together to save human lives. That was naive. Capital must continue to be accumulated, and the economic machine must march on. I suspect a lot of us are traumatized by this to the point that we don't even realize when it is that we're participating in that very march. It's like we're all held hostage on a pirate ship, and we know that if we don't keep the captain happy, we'll be thrown overboard. So I don't blame anyone for going to parties or shopping or even traveling during this crisis. I understand that they exist in a system that demands they do those things as part of survival. Going back to Arrien's essay about the braided way, to be foolish implies to do something that is systematically unexpected. I think about the tarot and the fool. He's embarking on this new journey, following an intuition, a joy, pursuing it to its full extent in spite of possible mockery or rejection. So the braided way wants us to think of that third option. So I don't think that we're stuck with participate fully in capitalism or completely reject it and live off grid. Perhaps this third option has become a lot more obvious to each of us as we've undergone this health crisis. I think we've all spent a lot of time with ourselves and in our immediate households, and we've come face to face with what it is that we personally value, how it is that we would like to be spending our time, how we think about our labor, but also our relationships, our mindsets, our physical environment. I found that a lot of people close to me, myself included, have kind of come to an understanding of what it is that they might want most in life. So if you were to disappear tomorrow, what is it that you would want to be doing? Where would you want to be, and who would you want to be with? These things have become clearer than they've ever been, as we've had the opportunity to come to know ourselves deeply, comparing our private spaces with public spaces where there's risk of illness or disease. Who we are and what makes us individuals is becoming quite apparent. My prayer is that we come out of this giving ourselves each permission to be foolish. I want us to pursue our dreams and our projects not to profit off of the capitalist system nor to spite it, but to do it as a raw, pure expression of our soul's blueprint. I want us to be, in a sense of being our own original medicine, regardless of what economic or political situation we may live in. I've recently been applying this mindset a little bit to my art, and I'm not a professional, I've never even taken a class, but I love colors and lines and plants and women's bodies, so I draw those things, and I'm letting myself do it without any any judgment without looking at it from other people's point of view. It's not for profit or for clout, it's just pure, raw self-expression. Granted, this isn't my foolish endeavor. This isn't my foolish thing. It's actually just really simple. My hobby is doodling and I'm just doing fancier tools. But in losing myself in something as simple as this, I find that I've been retraining my brain to think in the same way about other things in my life. My career, my personal projects, my home, my family, how I spend my personal time. I'm going beyond what is attainable or what I've maybe seen as an example before, and my brain is learning to think about what is possible and what is possible as a unique expression of me. So what I'm trying to say is that I think I've recently come face to face with what it is that my foolish endeavor would be. If I were the fool in the tarot, where I would begin, what I would start, even in the face of mockery and rejection. If I were brave, I would do that thing. In other words, I guess I found what my purpose on Gaia really is, if I were to be a true, raw expression of my soul self. So I'm working on that. I'm working on building up the bravery to pursue and express my own original medicine. And I hope that you do too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're doing well. The summer is finally on the doorstep and it's getting really warm and beautiful outside. We've been spending a lot more time in the garden and we have strawberries growing. It's really great. So I appreciate you hanging out with me. I would love to hear if this resonated with you at all, if you've been kind of going through this sort of meeting yourself in the mirror and realizing what it is that makes you you and what you would really do with your life if there were no boundaries, if there were no rules. What is your pure self-expression? If you feel like sharing that below, I would love to hear about it. Anyway, take care and I will see you soon. Bye.